World Finals here in Ontario, California. And now we are ready for the biggie. The finals, World Finals here in Ontario, California, pitting the three-time world champion, the veteran, Don Prudhomme, against Gordy Bonham, the youngster.
Just raw horsepower and concentration now. Imagine these guys are going to run roughly around the distance of the track on most high school football fields, Ken, and they're going to do that in just over 6 seconds. Incredible performance.
The old 440 in 6 seconds. There he is, the challenger, Gordy Bonham, the three-time world champion on the inside lane. On the start. Prudhomme is in trouble, smoking his tires. He's trying to make a comeback, but Gordy Bonham has won it. Gordy Bonham has pulled the upset in the final round of the 13th annual World Finals for 20 cars, and almost running out of track there before he finally got it locked down. Gordy Bonham and a static crew. There's some water in the engine builder for this crew that comes from Canada. They are thrilled. And in the background, you can see the truck going down the road to pick up the vehicle that has just pulled the upset of upsets here. The three-time world champion, Don Prudhomme, has been unseated here in the final round by a youngster. Again in slow motion. Let's watch what happened. Coming off the line, Prudhomme had trouble. You can see his tires smoke just briefly. He makes a good comeback, but not quite enough. Let's go to Brock Yates with the winner.
Congratulations, Gordy. Excellent. Looked like a pretty hairy stop down here. Was that the worst part of the run?
Yeah. No, I was not shutting it off early that time. I didn't know where he was at. I saw him for the first second, then he was gone. And our thing laid down about half track, and I drove it till I didn't see more racetrack. And the thing was okay in the start line. We were running all 8 cylinders like we tried to do, but the thing laid down here, and whatever happened to him, I'm glad it did.
Were you behind when he had the trouble?
Well, I just saw the nose of his car, and then it just dropped off.
Congratulations, Gordy Bonham. I'm sure it's a beautiful day in Alberta.
Gordy Bonham pulls the fast one in the World Finals for 20 cars. Coming up next, the ultimate, the heavyweights, the top fuel competition. Direct from Ontario, California, the 13th annual World Finals. Ready now for the top fuel dragsters with Brock Yates on Ken Squire. And this is John Abbott of Denver, Colorado, who had the best ET in the qualifying rounds. Only 16 machines qualified for the World Finals, and his elapsed time, his ET, was 5 and 88 100ths of a second. Here you see him come back to the line after warming up those tires and preparing for his first run in the finals, one of the Elite 16 to make the round. His opponent is Rick Ramsey. And watch what happened here. Lights on the Christmas tree. Flicker one to another and then to green. And on this start, away goes John Abbott, leaving Ramsey behind. But that's not the end of this story. John Abbott jumped the timing light. Red was flashed on. A foul, disqualified from the run. There's the start once again, and you can see Ramsey smoking his tires and losing, and yet he comes out the winner. A heartbreaker for John Abbott, and Brock Yates talked with him.
Johnny, you were a fast qualifier. You obviously were way up, and a red light starts this thing off. How do you what goes through your mind when something like that happens so quickly?
I don't know. I don't believe it. I just don't believe I did it.
What prompted you to do that? Was it just over eagerness, or you must have felt you could beat this guy?
Yeah, I did. I don't know. I just don't know. I thought I left right, but I guess I didn't. I must have staged too deep or something.
Is it a learning process? Is it something you can profit by, or is it just a flat mistake?
It's just a mistake. Flat mistake.
Okay. Fast qualifier Johnny Abbott out very quickly in this event. One sad young man.
Let's now meet the finalists for top fuel dragsters. Here is Brock Yates with Graham Light.
You seem pretty cool. Are you a man that gets psyched, or do you keep yourself pretty much under control? Do you feel the driver's going to be an element in this problem?
I try to stay cool. You know, I'm nervous just like everybody else when we go into it. Dennis Bach, there's no way you're going to psych him. He's been doing the thing for years, and I don't think he can get to me. I've been driving for years too, so see what happens.
Here's how Graham Light ascended to the finals in top fuel dragster competition. His first opponent, Hank Johnson from Marysville, Washington. we're watching Graham Light prepare his 2,000 horsepower nitro burning machine for his first run among the top 16. That's Light. Johnson. At the start line. Focusing all their concentration on those lights. Out of the hole is important, and out comes Johnson first. Graham Light on the near lane breaks through at the final moment as he goes out around Hank Johnson to win in the first eliminations. 5 and 92/100 the first round. Second round, quarterfinals now. It's Light against the all-time veteran Don Garlits, who's won more top fuel titles than anyone in the history of the game. At the line, the focus of attention, those starting lights. Garlits on the far side goes out in front. Graham Light pours it on and surges into the lead to pull an upset. Still another upset here in the World Finals of drag racing. Watch again as Don Garlits goes out in front, but Graham Light on the near side goes on to win by almost 1 car length. Here's Brock with a loser.
Don Garlits, this is kind of a capstone to what's been a very difficult week. Is that right?
Yeah, it's been a tough week, Brock. We've had a lot of work to do and had a lot of trouble.
Did your finger that you hurt last weekend have any effect on the performance here at Ontario?
Well, it slowed me down in the work in the pits for sure, and of course there's been some pain, but I'm not making any excuses.
How does it feel to come into a place where you have been undefeated in 3 other events and to lose this early in the going this afternoon?
Well, nobody wins forever, right? Somewhere you got to get beaten. It was a good fast car, and we were running good. We were set for him. I was way ahead. It was a long time before he passed me. Something went away in the number 3 cylinder. It just quit firing. I don't know what particularly, but it went out.
Don Garlits defeated the quarterfinals, made it in the this semi round, Canadian against Canadian. Terry Kapp against Graham Light. Now watch this staging area sequence. At first light on top is the pre-staging light. And when the machines move online, those bicycle tires move into the staging area, a second set of lights comes on. And then the starter can snap the button and send them on their way. Semi-final round and out in front. It was briefly Terry Kapp, and then Graham Light surged on as Kapp had an engine go away. 6 7/100 for the quarter mile. And watch again how Graham Light made it to the finals. He smoked the tires at first, then makes a comeback, and that means that Graham Light will face Dennis Baca in the World Finals here in Ontario. Here's Brock Yates with Dennis Baca.
Dennis, you've been known as a man inclined to maybe do a little psyching out there in the line on occasion. The man you're going up against has never been in a final of this kind of magnitude. Is that gonna change your tactics? Can you make a little move on him at all to break his concentration?
No, I don't intend to do that. I'm just going to go out and run. Actually, this may sound confident, but I guess I have to be a little confident. I run a 584, 585 last run. We got low ET of the meet, top speed of the meet. We've probably got 2 tenths on him, so I don't really I feel that I have to have any psychology or to try and divert his way of thinking or driving. However, I'm just going to go up there and drive to win.
And here's how he drove his way into the World Finals. Dennis Baca against England's Clive Skilton. First round eliminations. Among the top 16 as they started up through their brackets. And out in front goes Dennis Baca as Clive Skilton gives him a good run, but he beats him by about half a car length. The time of 6 1/100 243 miles per hour. Again, watch this run. How about this, Brock Yates?
This is indicative of the kind of competition that these really, really good top fuel drivers are capable of. They just drive right through to the finish line every time, and you just can't let up for a 100th of a second.
Through the eye of the needle, that electronic eye that times these machines at the end of the quarter mile. Richard Tharp was next, quarterfinals out of Dallas, Texas, to face Dennis Baca.
Look at those machines. What prehistoric monsters they remind one of. They're just incredible, pouring out horsepower from all sides. It's magnificent mechanical monsters.
Dennis Baca's machine on the near side. The far side was Richard Tharp. This was the quarterfinal. Out of control. almost in bad trouble was Richard Tharp, and again, Baca victorious. Let's take another look at that run, which almost spelled disaster for both of them, Brock.
Yeah, Tharp was very, very definitely in real trouble. He was probably just a quarter of a second away from pulling a chute that is the court of last resort and brings him back into stability. But he was in trouble.
Well, here it is. The semi-final round. It's Shirley Muldowney from Michigan, world champion, the only woman to hold a license in top fuel dragsters. She's certainly proven herself. She's up against Dennis Baca. And here is how it went for Shirley Muldowney. Don't call her Cha-Cha. A little psyching going on here. Dennis Baca has switched lanes at the final moment. He has moved to the near lane. He's allowed to do that. He had the lowest elapsed time, and he can make the choice that may have broken Muldowney's concentration. They are away. And surging out in front at the last moment, it is Dennis Baca to move into the finals. It looked like something happened to Muldowney's car after she had a very good start. 5 84/100ths of a second for the quarter mile. Here's that start once again. Muldowney on the outside, got out in front, and then back comes Dennis Baca to win it, and that means that Dennis Baca will face Graham Light. Let's go to Brock Yates right now with an angry Shirley Muldowney.
I know there was something on the line.
There was a difference in the lanes, obviously. Dennis took his choice twice, waited for till the cars were fired, and then pulled right in front of me and took the other lane.
What difference does it make in your tactics? What would you do if you'd had the choice?
Well, because already looked at the line.
Right.
We picked our spot. We picked our spot already, and we had to do that twice because he changed his mind twice.
You're a lady that really works on concentration in racing. How did this tend to break your concentration?
Not one bit, because I left on him on the start.
Okay. Ken, Shirley's mad at Dennis for the tactics on the line, but it wasn't the cause of her loss. She obviously had mechanical problems.
Well, here they are coming to the line. This is it, the grand finale. The top fuel dragsters rolling out. The competitors from Canada, it is Graham Light. And from the United States of America, Dennis Baca ready to battle it out. Dennis Baca nearest to the camera. Boy, what a day this could be. And there's problems. There are problems on Graham Light's machine. It is being rolled back, and he's taking off those fireproof gloves. After coming all this way, the Canadian Graham Light is going to be left standing at the altar. A terrible break. He's adjusting his helmet now to take it off. The machine is being rolled back. Dennis Baca will have to make the run, but it's predetermined. All he has to do is come through the quarter mile block, and we have a new finalist to win it all here today in the World Finals.
He's going all the way, though. He's going hard. That's impressive, Ken. He didn't have to. He could have coasted down through there, but he'd stayed on it all the way. Look at that time.
5 97/100ths of a second for the old 440, as Dennis Baca has won in the World Finals, and there you see the machine. Let's go to Brock Yates right now with the winner, Dennis Baca.
We've got Dennis Baca here. Dennis, the end to a perfect afternoon.
Got to wait till I get my helmet off. I can't talk. Okay, go ahead.
The end of a perfect afternoon, right?
Yeah, I'd say it was a very good afternoon.
You were totally confident. We talked to you earlier. You said you're going to do
I
it.
really was. What did I run that run, by the way? 5:98? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think, we had it under control.
No problem. Had it all the way, right?
Listen, as I said before, you never win till you cross the finish line, and I never underestimate my opponent.
I think there's some guys here that are fairly happy. All right. One happy man. That's the end of things down here at the finish line, Ken. It's been a beautiful, safe afternoon of racing and a lot of jubilation. But now it's over. People are heading on back to the pits. Back to you.
Well, Graham Light, a long way to come for disaster right at what could have been the brink of your greatest success.
Well, that's true, Ken. It's one of those unforeseeable things. In the burnout, the car broke an oil line. It's nobody's fault. But we were happy to get into the final. We could have lost first round, or maybe we couldn't even qualify. So we're happy. The funny car went out in front of us and won. We were hoping for an all bubble-up win here, but we were runner-up, and that's the way it goes.
What's the emotion that you go through when you come from Edmonton, Alberta, and you've worked your way through all these eliminations and come right down to the moment, and then it's all for naught?
Well, you're kind of disappointed, but I'm happy to be in the final. There was a lot of tough competitors here. A lot of tough cars didn't even qualify. On the way up, we beat people like Hank Johnson and Don Garlitz and Terry Kapp, and these people run super, and We tried to look at it the attitude it was just another round, you know, just another car to race, and just continue what we've been doing, and maybe we can beat him too. And we'd obviously like to have won, but we're happy to be runner-up.
Well, we're awfully sorry you didn't get a chance to make it down to the other end of this quarter-mile strip. But the attitude of Graham Light to us represents the attitude of everything we've seen here in watching these 13th Annual World Finals. These people care, and they're sensitive, and they're great competitors, and it's been one great time for us to cover for the first time for CBS the 13th World Finals of Drag Racing. For Brock Yates, I'm Ken Squire. Better luck.